All right, listen up, my friend. This is Deal Finder Pro. This is a supplement to our Lease Option Pro system. And as you go through and get all the training on how to do lease options, at some point you're gonna say, all right, I've done the training and it's time to find deals. Now the reality is I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hearts. I've got 4 favorites. And I know I promised you 11 different ways of finding deals. I'm actually going to over deliver today. I'm gonna give you 12 different ways that you can find amazing deals. So Deal Finder Pro, here's what it really means. It means that there isn't only just one way of finding deals. It's really comforting to know that there are many ways. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to enumerate 12 different ways and help you open up your mind, because a lot of this is just where to look. And once you've taken the lease option course and you understand, hey, I got the contract, I can tie this up, now where do I go? Now, before I hop into this, I want to help you understand something. You can either acquire a property traditionally, which means go to a bank, put a down payment and buy it, and boom, you've got a house. But a lot of the ways that I'm going to share with you are ways of actually finding houses with seller financing. You don't know it perhaps, but this entire time with Lease Option Pro in our 5K club, I've been teaching you actually how to secure all sorts of deals. And it's called seller financing when you avoid the bank. You're actually getting the technical owner of the property to actually work with you and deal with you. And in that moment, they become the bank. And that's what seller financing means. So you're gonna see traditional ways here and you're gonna see non-traditional ways, because I wanna make sure I can help all of you go out there and crush it on finding amazing deals. Now, one other thing that I want you to understand is when you find a property and you secure some equity on it, you need to know what that looks like so that you know when you've found a good deal. Ultimately, you understand from the sandwich leasing section that what we're talking about here is, number one, getting a low rent when you secure the property, so with the lease option, you can get a high rent and sandwich the middle. Or you can buy a property with enough, you can get a low enough purchase price so you can sell it for a higher minimum price and you can sandwich that equity. Sandwiching rent and sandwiching equity are the 2 places to know that you're securing big profits. So how do you find these deals? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about turning you into a magnet for being a pro at finding amazing deals. That's what it means. Number 1, for rent ads. Now I'll put a little heart here. Black heart doesn't mean that I have a black heart. It just means that was the only other color that I had. But black heart basically means I love this particular way. And here's what I do. The for rent ads is one of my famous ways of finding deals that I get to do with seller financing. That means I can skip the bank. And here's what I'm doing. Do you know who is renting properties in the for rent ads? It's landlords, investors, or accidental investors, or people simply that have a home that they no longer live in and they want to rent it out to somebody. And I want to tell you right now that a significant number of those landlords do not want to be landlords. They're sick and tired of being landlords. They're tired of it. They don't want to do it anymore. And it could be because they're there on accident. They're motivated for any number of different reasons. And what I'm looking for is to call them up, and this is what I'm going to say. Hey, I'm interested in renting your property, but not just for a year or 2. Can I rent it from you for years, and then can I buy it from you? Now, who would say yes to that? A landlord that doesn't want to be in charge of the property anymore would say yes. And if you want to sweeten the deal, you say, yeah, I'm looking for a house that I can rent for several years and then eventually buy it, and I'll cover all repairs in the meantime. Okay, listen, that was your $1 million idea. You didn't know it yet. But if you went through the for rent section and looked for homes that had low rents, and you know how to do this, right? I mean, you're tackling a specific area that you're looking at finding deals in. You're looking to get to know the for rent market in that area. You come to know what a 3-bedroom, 2-bath rents for, what a 4-bedroom, 2-bath rents for. And when you detect, as you become familiar just by looking and understanding and acclimating, as you just spend an hour in the for rent section, you'll start learning, oh, in this part of town, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home rents between $900 and $1,000. Why is this one rented for $700? It's low. That's the one that you want to call and say, hey, I'm interested in renting your place. Is it still available? Awesome. My situation's a little weird. I'm looking for a place that I can rent for many years, and then I want to actually buy it and In the meantime, I just want to fix it up and take care of it and handle all expenses and all repairs and all maintenance. Would you be interested in that? And if someone is renting the home that really doesn't want to do it, the idea of them having a permanent tenant, a tenant that will do all the repairs and then eventually buy it, you now have become a solution to them. So for rent ads is definitely a popular one, and that's why I've taken a little extra time on it, that all you have to do is acclimate to your for rent area to identify when you think rents seem low. And then the next step is to call them up and ask them, I want to rent the place, I want to do it for many years, I want to buy it, and I want to handle all repairs. If they say yes, here's what will make this work. Number one, you need to lock in a low rent. And number two, you need to negotiate a purchase price that is very reasonable or low, because you're going to have this for years. You're going to allow the market to appreciate, and you want to get it under market, so you sandwich in a great value there. If you've done that, you use the contracts that I've given you, and boom, you're doing deals. Like, I'm so pumped for you. Okay, so that's for rent ads. Number two, driving for deals. You know, this sounds a little bit old school, but if you really like the game of real estate and you're really mastering an area, then when you drive around town, you know what? Take the circuitous route. Drive around the backwards way. Go left, go right. Go down weird streets. And every time you see something for sale, I just want you to be in the habit of calling on it and getting the information about it. This is how I found my very first house, and it kick-started my entire adventure. I didn't do any of these things other than driving for deals. So it's a small thing, and it just means that whenever you're on the go in an area that you're familiar with, just stop when something goes up for sale on the market and give it a call and get in the habit, because you will find deals that way. Number three, this has a heart by it, is for sale by owner. Now, the reason why I have a heart is because I love seller financing deals. Who actually lists a home for sale by owner? It is more than likely a homeowner that doesn't trust realtors, doesn't want to pay. They think it's a ripoff that they have to pay for the buying and the selling agent. And you know, they got to pay 6% plus some closing costs, 7%. So they're like, I want to sell my house for 200 grand. Why should I have to pay 7% or $14,000? I think I can do better and save that. Now, sometimes in saving it, it's because they want to price the home more than it's worth, but sometimes they'll price it less. For sale by owner, these are all sorts of homeowners that have a variety of motivations. They can move and want to sell it. They're feeling lucky. You just don't know. And sometimes for sale by owner is where you find a motivated seller, someone that has a problem that you can solve. Usually their problem could be divorce, life falling apart, moving, getting a new job, lost a job. You don't know what the problem is. But I'll tell you, in every situation, here's what their solution is. They have a house and they don't know what to do with it. So when you come in and say, I'll step in for the next several years, I'll cover all the payments, I'll do all the management, I'll do all the repairs, and I'll even buy it from you. You just ended up being a solution in their world. So for sale by owner, this is colorful. It's different than the MLS because you just have no idea what you're going to find here. You're going to find some of the most brilliant deals, and you're going to find some of the, you're going to find homeowners that are selling houses for way more than they actually should. You're going to see it all. It's very colorful. And there's something gamble-ish I like about that. It feels like going to Vegas and gambling just a little bit. I mean, I don't really gamble, but maybe that's why I love real estate. I might call on the deal and it's a dog. I might call on the deal and it has 100 grand. Brian here in our 5K club, he actually on his very second deal stumbled on a house that he ended up flipping 6 weeks later and making $70,000. When you're doing a for sale by owner, you just don't know. Now, Brian actually found it calling through the for rent ads, one of my hearts, but this is definitely a favorite. All right, number 4, Craigslist and classifieds. Who's using Craigslist? Who's using classifieds? It's very similar to the for sale by owners. It's a hodgepodge. You never know exactly what you're going to get. But you do get a lot of homeowners that don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're not using a realtor, but for some reason they think they can do something on their own. And you're going to get a variety of people selling too high and a variety of people selling too low. It's a great place to look for a deal. Number 5, I've got a heart by. It is realtors in the MLS. I'm going to take a few minutes on this one. How I found my very second house that I ever ended up buying was actually working with these realtors. And how I kind of found them is I started going through the for rent section and I was looking for realtors instead of homes because I figured, you know what? I'm looking for a good deal, but you know what? These realtors that actually are listing foreclosures and short sales and homes with problems, I bet they get homes all the time that meet their criteria that by the time they get listed, they're already gone. So I figured, I just kind of made this up. I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to call a bunch of these realtors. So what I did is realtors will usually have a specialty. They either, if they're going to have a bunch of listings, they're either going to be $1 million listings or low-end listings or mid-entry level, or they're going to specialize in a certain part of town. They want to dominate an area. Realtors often have niches. I want the niches. I want the realtors to be my niches. They're going to help me with my foreclosure really good deals. Okay. So here's what that means. I want you to make a list of realtors, of all the realtors in the sections that represent foreclosures and investments and good deals. And I want you to collect 10. I want you to call all 10, and this is what you're going to say. Hey, I'm a new investor. I'm all pre-qualified and set to buy a property. I'm looking for X, Y, and Z or this amount of equity. And what ends up happening is 80% of the realtors will think you're up in the night. Even though they represent investments, they'll tell you that your criteria is too aggressive. It's weird. I don't know why. I don't get it. Realtors can be so weird to me personally. But 2 out of the 10 realtors I find every single time will say, yep, I'm on it. And usually same day, they're going to send deals that they already have. And I want you to understand why. The deal of the decade actually comes along every single day. And often it's on the MLS, the multiple listing service, where homes are basically bought and sold. But a really good deal can be on there today and gone tomorrow. So every day the MLS is new again. So when you call these realtors, often they found an amazing deal and they're thinking to themselves, man, I wish I had a good buyer. Now, this system in particular, this is a traditional system. This is not good for seller financing because you're going through a system where you would have to have buy it as a primary residence, 3% down, buy it as an investment property, 20% down. But this is great for traditional. Or when we talk about in the other segment, the game plan accelerator, or if you're part of Partner Profits, we talk about partnering with others that have money. And guess what? This is this is probably one of my top ways of finding deals when I actually have money. All right. Number 6, 7, 8, and 9 are super popular strategies with PropStream. And if you check the link below, it'll actually give you a link to a 5-day free trial of PropStream, or chances are you already have it. The reality is this. Information is out there in the world today through all these real estate data companies, and the information is available, and you just have to pay a fee to access it. This is the cheapest fee that I'm aware of to access properties that represent discounted properties, tax liens, expired listings, and foreclosures. All 4 of these I find through PropStream. And if I were you, they charge, I think, $150 a month, but to me, because I brought a lot of people their way, they'll do it for like $99 a month. And it will pay for itself over and over and over again. So click the link if you haven't started your trial yet or if you haven't bought it yet, because here's what I want you to do. There are videos and tutorials that will actually show you how to find discounted properties, tax liens, expired listings, and foreclosures. Now, all 4 of these are powerful for different reasons. First of all, discounted properties. What I like about this one is I will actually set PropStream up to basically say, I want to find a property from $100,000 up to $200,000. I want it to have a 30% equity position. And I want you to just email it to me every time you find one. Well, every day I get an email that says a home just hit the market. And it looks like from this automatic data, we went and searched automatically through the county records, and we found out that this property was worth X and we can get it for Y. And they'll notify me about that, and I'll get these discounted properties. Tax liens, this is big. When you actually have the contact information of a homeowner that has a tax lien, they're not trying to sell their property. This is a perfect way of finding seller finance deals that you don't necessarily have to come up with money on. It's very awesome. So tax liens, if they have a $10,000 or $15,000 tax lien, they may have you can search in the system for a pile of equity, But a tax lien means if they don't take care of that tax lien, the bank is going to take their property. Before that happens, they need a solution. So you do know who they need? They need you. You're a solution. Expired listings is also good for seller financing. This is someone that listed a home and they weren't able to sell it under their terms. And you can do a query and actually get their contact information and call them up and say, hey, I saw last month that you had your home listed for sale, but it didn't sell. What happened? Oh, I couldn't work this out, or I didn't know how to do this, or I need to keep the property, but I can't do that. And you open up a dialogue for doing the same thing you do on these for rent ads and these other systems that we're talking about. Foreclosures, basically, a home is definitely in trouble. It'll need to be purchased traditionally, not seller finance. So we got a good blend of seller finance and non-seller finance deals here. And understand there's a difference between foreclosures and short sales. Foreclosure means the bank owns it and they're ready to sell it. A short sale means it's in the pre-foreclosure process. It hasn't made it back to the bank for ownership and the bank has to work on the sales process. Only 2% of those go through. It's very messy. I wouldn't waste time on short sales personally if it were me. So all four of these are brilliant. Here's what I like the best about them. I can set up all of these searches with strict criteria for awesome, incredible deals, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it ding my email, ding my inbox every time a good deal comes up, and then I can look at it, and if the numbers look good, I can run comps on it. And this is a little bonus to you. This is cool. If you're finding deals through any of these things on PropStream, this is what I use to do my own CMA, comparable market analysis. Now, I've taught you about this. So you can go to a realtor and you can have a realtor do this for you. But why when you can actually do it yourself? You get access to all of the comps. You can find all of them within a tight radius. You can find the most appropriate ones. I run my own numbers. You know why? Because in the end, if something smells fishy or looks fishy, I can delete it and get the purest estimated value possible, as opposed to someone else saying, hey, I went and queried all the possible comps and I selected these three for you to look at. Well, would I have picked different ones? Did they pick numbers that made the property look better than it maybe is? Obviously use a realtor if you have no other option, but I want you to use PropStream so you can run them yourself. Do not pay to become a license for that future license agent. Don't take the 100 hours of training or whatever it is in your state and pay the $1,000. Just do PropStream. You'll make your money over many, many times. All right, that link is down below if you don't have it, and use it so you can verify if all the rest of these are good deals too. Number 10, bird dogs. Okay, what is a bird dog? Listen, if you're a hunter and you shoot that bird down, your dog that is trained is going to go fetch it. Well, in the real world of real estate, we have bird dogs too. Often it's garbage man, people in sanitation, mailmen, people that have to drive around and get to know neighborhoods. What they do is they can keep track of homes that are for sale, new homes that just hit the market, homes that are boarded up, homes that look like they're distressed. They can look for homes that have like 3 feet tall grass. All of those are indicators of what? Problems. Dude, if someone's not maintaining their lawn, guess what that means? They have too many problems and stresses to actually pull out the lawnmower, or maybe their lawnmower broke and they can't even fix it. They have a problem. If there's equity in that problem, in that house, then you have a solution for them. So a bird dog is, think of the people you know that drive around town for a living and let them know that you're looking for distressed properties, and trust me, they'll be able to tell you about them. Okay, number 11, you see that big heart again? This is one of my 4 faves. This is referrals through social media. I create awareness that I'm a real estate investor. In fact, did you know that you can build up your social media? For example, Facebook. You can go join groups of people. I know not everyone's a Facebooker, and Facebook is really migrating to Instagram, but it's still great for a number of different reasons. If you're really big on Instagram, for example, then use your Facebook for business. And here's what you do. Go find all the groups that are related to business, money, finance, and real estate. Join them, and then add all those people as friends. When those people come on your page and you say things like, hey, I'm looking for real estate deals. I'm looking for homes with 20% equity. I'm looking for good deals. And then when these people find them, it's amazing how people will come out of the woodwork. They don't even want anything in return most of the time. They just want to be helpful. So creating awareness, and going out there and just letting people know that, hey, if you find me a good deal, I can, give you $1,000 or a couple $1,000. I can give you a little finder's fee. That's a great way to find a deal with a ton of equity. I've paid those fees before, and man, has it been good to me. Okay, and then the last one of the 12 for Deal Finder Pro here is what I call bandit signs. Have you ever seen those signs on the side of the road that says, we buy houses cash, 100% cash in 48 hours? I want you to open your eyes and look for these yellow and black bandit signs in other colors and drive around and start seeing these tiny little corrugated signs with these little metal frames that people just stick on the corner everywhere they go. And if you'll take a look at the language and call them, listen to what those people are saying. What they're doing, you can copy this exact same system, super easy. My buddy Cody Sperber, this is like makes him tons of money. These bandit signs, you go buy a couple hundred of them and you just put them around town. Look at your city ordinances, make sure that you're not going to get in trouble for where you put them. So you put them in the right spots. But what ends up happening is people that have real estate problems are thinking, I can get a cash buyer in 48 hours. Someone will pay cash for my home. Well, here's what they're really saying. Call this 1-800 number or call your phone number. And if you use PropStream and determine that you can buy their house at a really good deal, these people want cash. Now, automatically you're thinking, wait a second, I don't have cash. How would I buy a house cash? PropStream, one of the other benefits other than CMAs, is it allows you to go through the system and find all the cash buyers in an area. You can call up those cash buyers and say, if I find a house with this kind of criteria, will you actually partner with me on the deal or pay me maybe a $10,000 finder's fee to do that deal? And these people will say yes. So you put up a bandit sign that says, I buy houses cash, and people call in and you're like, great, let me take it down. And you're like, okay, can you offer me a discount on it? And you run the numbers and they're like, well, I just need $150,000, but it's worth $210,000. Your research says it's worth $210,000. You can buy it for $150,000. There's $60,000 of equity. So all of a sudden you say, great, let me get this information over to my team. And you call up the cash buyer and say, I've got one of those deals. It's got to close in 48 or 72 hours, maybe a week. And all of a sudden they say yes. And you work out your arrangement, which is, hey, we'll partner up 50-50 on it, or no, I'll give you 15 grand for it, or 10 grand for it, or 5 grand for it. And that deal is done. My friend, what we just did here with Deal Finder Pro is I ran through not 10, not 11, I ran through 12. And I promise there's more. But these are 12 really good strategies. I have used every single one of these strategies for finding good deals. And the more of these you know how to do, the more versatile you are. Again, click the link below to get your PropStream. I want you to do it for 2 reasons. You might be using it to find discounted properties, tax liens, expired listing, or foreclosure deals as they come up. I want you to do it for a couple of different reasons. The first one is CMA. Anytime you find a deal, you're always going to ask, is this a good deal? And I want you to know how to run the numbers. That would be the most important reason. The second reason is to run a list to find all the houses in your area that have been bought cash in the last year. And you can run a report with all their names and phone numbers and emails. And you can even do a voicemail blast or a text blast to all of them and basically say, hey, I'm finding amazing deals. Please respond to me if you want to partner up. What's your criteria? And all of a sudden you'll meet all these people with money that are willing to actually go in and actually do this with you. So my friends, that is Deal Finder Pro. I've shared my favorites with you. I have used all of these, and I just want to tell you that as you're out there using the lease option system, you're either using your own cash to buy traditionally, and there are traditional ways to find deals here, or you're saying, I need no money down or low money down strategies. There's a list of seller financing possibilities here, many of them hearted, that I really, really like. And when you tie them up, you use the exact same lease option contract that we've given you in the other part of the course. There you have it, my friend. Go out there and make it a habit to look for deals every day. And your goal is, if you're ready to do a deal, then find one within 1 or 2 weeks and get that deal locked and loaded and making you money.